Big production.
Yo, what is good, squad? We're gonna go over Bitcoin here. So I'm using the BTC USD chart on TradingView, and this is under Kraken's little chart here, right? There's a few different charts. I'm just gonna point this out real quick, right? We have the Bitstamp, the Coinbase, Bybit, Bitfinex, etc., FTX. I'm using the Kraken chart. The reason is because we go all the way back to 2013 with this chart, which is pretty late. So it helps give us a better idea of the actual trend itself, right? All right, now let's get into it. Ignore this line here for a sec. I'm going to hide this, right? Now, when we look at this chart, it looks pretty bubbly, doesn't it? Like, oh, for those who have no idea what Bitcoin is, they think it's a scam. They think it's like a not good investment. They look at this chart, and this is the perfect answer to their worry, right? They're like, oh yeah, look at it. It's horrible, right? It's gone down from the very highs. Let's check. From the very highs, we're down right now 71%. And we have made a high of like a 75% pullback. So for those who are like, Bitcoin is crashing, it is going to go to zero, they look at this chart, and that actually proves them to be right at the moment, right? But what I want to kind of point out is when you look at a exponential trending asset like Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, or for example Amazon, Apple, major like big tech names, when we look at them in a regular chart like this, it might not always seem like a great uptrend or a good investment. But when we change it to log chart, right, and we now are looking at it from a exponential chart perspective, right? This is an exponential trending asset. We need to look at it in a different chart, right? The log chart is able to graph exponential trends so much smoother to make it look a lot more appealing, not only appealing to the eye, but easier to understand, right? Now, when we look at this looks like, and it's proving why it's the best performing asset over the past decade, right? It's really kind of slapping you in the face, right? So whenever somebody points out to you and says, "Oh yeah, Bitcoin sucks," or like you're investing in Bitcoin, that's a trash investment, like you could literally show them this chart, and if they don't understand it, then you go, "Oh, oh, so you don't understand." Give them like a little no, I'm kidding, don't do that. But like, this chart proves, right? It's the best performing asset over the past decade. From, right, this is October 7th, 2013. I don't know what point in the chart it is, but up until now, it's like 17,000% up, right? When we look at this, right, it might look like it's really performing bad, which it technically has been if you're looking at it from the past, 8 months since November. Technically, then yeah, it is performing bad. But, right, if you're looking at it from like a broader, more large perspective, right, from retrospect, you could see that what we're doing here, and I'm going to put these back on, is we're really just back testing the 2017 highs, right? And again, we'll put on some moving averages, and this is the weekly time frame. We got the 8 moving average. We're breaking below it. We'll put up the 20 moving average. We're breaking below it. We'll put up the 50 moving average. We are below all these averages, and as you could see, they're starting to point or slope downward. And what that is telling us is that we're in a small downtrend right now, which is pretty much obvious. In my opinion, up until we start to see some of these moving averages, again, the smaller the moving average, the sooner it'll get a response from the daily candles or the weekly candles. We want to see those start to point upward. So once we start to see that point upward, it's telling us there's momentum coming back into the stock. Demand is now starting to pick up, and people are starting to push the price higher. Again, in the future, I'm going to have two different styles of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency videos coming out. I'm going to have one breaking down how I'm personally investing in it, and another one, I'm going to start reading a little bit more books. I just finished Bitcoin Hard Money You Can't Fuck With by Jason A. Williams. That was very informative, and it's a very good book if you want to learn about Bitcoin from, like, plain English without all the technical terms and things like that. It's very straight, plain forward, and to the point. And again, it helps give me so much conviction when I'm reading these books. So the other video I was talking about, I'm going to make a video where I read a few books, and from my perspective, I try to explain it to people in hopefully a very understandable and like easy way. So again, don't take any of these videos as some sort of investment advice. Do your own research. But what I'm trying to point out is the opportunity that we could be facing, right? I put up a poll on my Instagram today. If you're not following me on Instagram, NCB Trades, check it out. And the poll is, right, I basically posted this thing where it says, it's a post from 21 years ago, and it says, the internet may be just a passing fad as millions give up on it, right? That was 21 years ago, and now pretty much we all live on the internet. It's one of those pieces of technology that grows so exponentially, it's hard to explain. Well, Bitcoin is actually on a faster growing trajectory than the internet has been over the past 21 years. So think about that. So the post I said was, where will Bitcoin be in 21 years? And when I'm looking at this, we have 23 votes. Everybody says 100% that it's probably going to be higher versus 0% probably going to zero. So let's think about that, right? Like Bitcoin going higher than what it is now. Why would you not want to invest in it if it's 21 years from now, which I'm going to be 44, or sorry, I'm going to be 46 or 45 in 21 years, which is like, to be honest, that's fairly young still. Like, if you do think it's going to be higher, why not spend the time investing in it? Now let's add another layer to that. Like, do you think it's going to become more popular, right? Do you think people are going to start to understand what Bitcoin is and the use case for it is more over the next 21 years? If so, that's going to make it more scarce if we have more investors using it and taking their Bitcoin off exchanges, etc. Which means, right, less supply but more demand usually means the number is going to go up exponentially. So again, right, we have this massive trend here, and I kind of put this line out. And again, this line doesn't mean anything. It's just a projection that I made myself personally. And the way I think of it is, over the next couple years, right, if we do have some sort of bear market or a stall in the market, right? So if we look at back in 2017, we didn't get a massive push up until 2020. That's 3 years. I want to see, the reason why I drew this line, is to kind of get my own idea of like, how close am I to understanding this exponential trend just from looking at it from the bare eye, right? Again, the supply and demand zones that we have written out here, they do and will play effect in this chart. As you can see, right? It's already starting to point out we're hitting 2017 levels and people are starting to buy up. Doesn't mean that this is the bottom, but it does mean that these levels are respected. So I want to see, just ignore this line, but it's a cool experiment I'm trying to put on for the next few years while we're investing in Bitcoin. So again, I hope this video was a little bit more informative than the past few Bitcoin videos I've made. But essentially, right, all these moving averages are pointing downward. Right now is a great time to be collecting Bitcoin as the interest slowly dies off just for a little bit. When everyone then forgets what Bitcoin is, and you've been gathering the whole time, and then the trend picks up, and then the supply really gets a shock, right? In the next few years, you'll see a massive increase in price because it's happened before multiple times, right? So just to give you guys a quick little eye on what's going on, this video is getting a little bit long. I apologize. We're 74% down now, but in the past, we've been as far as 85% down. 82% down, 71% down, right? So we're just right around that ballpark where we could be setting like a bottom or potentially some sort of base level to, regather these levels up and to make sure they're a support. So again, Bitcoin again is a super long-term play. If you're looking for trades, you got to be waiting for this type of environment, right? But overall, that's the breakdown, guys. Sorry for the 10-minute video here, but I hope this gives you a little bit more context and understanding of what's going on. Peace.